Welcome to The Explainer. You know, if you follow global finance, it can feel like you're trying to navigate a ship in a perfect storm. Well, today, we're handing you the map. This is your complete guide to our Global Financial Ecosystem series, and it's designed to help you see all the hidden connections that drive the entire system.
Yeah, this image probably feels a little too familiar, right? A tiny boat on a massive, stormy sea? That's exactly what it feels like trying to make sense of global finance. You're just getting hit by a constant barrage of market swings, new tech, geopolitical shocks. It's really, really easy to feel lost.
So the big question is, how do you navigate that storm without getting completely overwhelmed? Well, the secret isn't to try and track every single wave or gust of wind. No way. It's about having a map that shows you the deep, powerful currents that are actually moving everything underneath the surface.
And that's exactly what we're going to give you today. We'll start with the map itself, this new framework, and then we're going to tour through its 5 core layers. We'll hit information, then infrastructure and innovation, move to integration, and wrap with governance, showing you how it all clicks together.
Okay, so let's dive right into the map itself. This is a really powerful new way to see the architecture of global finance, not as a bunch of separate topics, but as one living, breathing system.
The whole idea here is to stop seeing finance in these neat little silos. Instead, we're looking at it as a global financial ecosystem. You know, think of it like a rainforest. Everything is connected. A change in one tiny part of the system, whether that's a new technology or a climate event, sends ripples through the entire thing.
Now, to make sense of this huge, complex ecosystem, the framework breaks it all down into 5 interconnected layers. As you can see, we start with information at the bottom, build up through infrastructure and innovation, then connect to the outside world with integration, and the whole thing is held together by governance. This is basically our roadmap for the journey. All right, our first stop is the information layer. And honestly, this is the absolute foundation. Every single transaction, every investment, every decision in finance is built on a bedrock of truth and trust. And this layer is all about protecting that foundation. The reports we're looking at here really get to the heart of financial trust. They break down why information integrity is so critical, they expose the anatomy of sophisticated frauds like Ponzi schemes, and they map out the huge battle for cyber resilience. I mean, if you get this layer wrong, the entire system starts to wobble.
Okay, let's move on. For our next stop, we're actually going to look at 2 layers together, infrastructure and innovation. Think of this as looking at both the hidden plumbing that keeps the financial world running day to day and the wild, groundbreaking tech that's about to reshape all of it.
So first up is infrastructure. This is the essential machinery, right? The payment systems that are moving trillions of dollars a day, the markets for government debt, the frameworks that keep things stable, and even how we finance the physical stuff our economies depend on, like roads and ports.
And just to give you a sense of the sheer scale we're talking about, for physical infrastructure alone, there's an estimated $18 trillion investment gap. That's not just some abstract number. It's a massive challenge and, frankly, a huge opportunity for the entire financial system.
And then you have the innovation layer, which is poised to change all of that infrastructure. The reports here are looking straight into the future, exploring the transformative power of open finance, the massive investment implications of AI, and even the mind-bending potential of quantum computing to completely upend financial security.
For our next stop, we're going to zoom out. The integration layer shows us that finance doesn't exist in a bubble. Not at all. It's deeply woven into the fabric of our society and our planet, and it's constantly getting hit by these major outside forces.
This is where the reports connect finance to some of the biggest challenges of our time. We're talking about the financial risks from climate change and losing biodiversity, the economic impact of huge demographic shifts, and how social issues like inequality and eroding trust actually become systemic financial risks.
Okay, our final stop on this tour is the governance layer. If the other layers are kind of like the hardware and the software of the ecosystem, you can think of governance as the operating system. It's the OS that runs the whole show and holds it all together. It's the meta layer of resilience.
So this layer is all about the rules of the game. The reports here tackle the fractures being caused by financial geopolitics. They track those system-wide vulnerabilities before they blow up into crises, and they explore why global coordination is so critical to keep things stable.
So there we have it. We've toured all 5 layers, from the foundation of information all the way up to the rules of governance.
Now let's put it all together and see how this framework gives you a complete, usable map of the entire series.
And here it is. This slide right here, this is the aha moment. It clearly lays out how every single one of the 19 deep dive reports from the series fits perfectly into one of these 5 layers. It turns what was just a long list of topics into a clear, logical, and really easy to navigate structure. This is your playlist.
And that really brings us to the most crucial point of all this. In a world that is this interconnected, you don't build a resilient financial system by trying to isolate risks. Real resilience, true strength, comes from understanding the connections and then managing them effectively.
So, now you have it. You've got the map to the entire global financial ecosystem series. All 19 of those deep dive reports are right there waiting for you to explore. The only question left is, where are you going to begin?